Time warp. Time warp.
Are you ready? So you think you can do?
I lost the video of me getting around the tour of upstairs and downstairs, but I'm trying to tell you one thing. Downstairs, where my sister's bedroom is, where my mum is sleeping now, it's the kitchen. That's spooky, because when you look through the windows you can see creepy stuff. And that, in the bathroom, you can see creepy stuff going on, and there's somebody there. My mum's bedroom's mirror used to be creepy, and they had paranormal stuff on which it stopped. But I'll tell you one thing. My bedroom is cool, quiet. I haven't had nothing happen yet. And downstairs, sometimes you hear the toilet door knock for no reason. Hallway and landing, nothing happens much. In the kitchen, totally kitchen, right, the bedroom, front room, it's okay, but sometimes you feel creepy in there when you're on your own. The dining room is where the old policeman used to live here and died. And sometimes I can pick up on all the spirits, and if I don't, I've got a special gadget which helps me pick them up to see where they are.
Horror Readings by G.M. Danielson. Auntie Bells by Pepinacious.
Auntie Bells wasn't really my auntie, or anyone else's for that matter. I'm not sure she had any real family at all. It was just what everyone called her. She'd been a fixture in the neighborhood since long before I was born, and there wasn't a great person who didn't at least know of her. She was something of a living legend, a crazy cat lady type, without the cats. It wasn't unusual to look out your window in the dead of night and see Auntie Bells shuffling down the street. Big walking stick clutched in one hand, her tameless hair shining white in the moonlight. And if you didn't see her, you'd hear her. Auntie Bells took her name from the bracelets she wore on both wrists, strands of twine run through a countless number of tiny bells that tinkled with her every movement. The first time I saw her, I was a small child. My family had just moved onto the street, and I was playing in our front yard while Mom unpacked inside. The sound, so gentle and enchanting, did not match its. When I looked up, I found myself staring at what could only have been a wicked witch from one of my storybooks. Dressed in heavy swaths of black, with small, beady eyes and a crooked nose, Auntie Belle had come to a standstill at the foot of our driveway and was just watching me, any expression lost in the heavy wrinkles of her face. With all the certainty of someone about to be lured back to a gingerbread house and eaten, I started to cry, which immediately drew my mother out of the house. By the time she reached me, Auntie Bells had already tottered farther off down the road. When I heard the tinkle of bells through my open window that night, I threw the comforter over my head and kept my eyes squeezed shut until they faded into the distance. We got our first real introduction to Auntie Bells at a block party a week later. She wasn't invited, or at the very least, she didn't attend, but we still saw her walking slowly by, her gaze traveling over all the little children running about. Mum frowned and turned to our neighbor Betsy. "Who is that?" she asked, nodding towards the old woman. "Oh, don't mind her. It's just Auntie Bells," Betsy said. "Family of yours?" "No, that's just a nickname. You know, I'm not sure I even know her real name." "Whatever you want to call her, she's creepy." Betsy laughed. She's harmless, just a bit eccentric. I don't like how she's looking at the kids. We've never had a problem with her." Mom made a displeased sound in the back of her throat and ushered me away from Auntie Belle's line of sight. Despite my mom's initial distrust of Auntie Belle's, she never really did cause any problems. It still took a long time to get over being unsettled by her, but she never bothered us, and we got used to seeing her around all hours. As I got older, I even started to feel a bit sorry for her. Here was this elderly woman who never seemed to have any friends or family to take care of her, just wandering the same neighborhood she'd apparently spent her whole life in. After seeing her pass by one morning and getting a pang of second-hand loneliness, I walked across the street to say hi to Ellen, our spunky grandmotherly neighbor who was kneeling in her garden. "Morning, Miss Ellen," I said. "Hi, Paul. You okay?" "Yeah," I said, and then I hesitated. Ellen sat back on her heels with some effort and tipped her wide-brimmed hat back expectantly. "You've been here for a long time, right, Miss Ellen?" "Sure. Probably going on 45 years now." "And Auntie Belle's, she has been here even longer? How come you and her aren't friends?" I asked bluntly. "You've both lived here a long time. Shouldn't you be friends?" "Just never happened, I suppose," Ellen said. "She just seems lonely." "Yes, well, sometimes that happens when you get old." Something in her tone told me the conversation was over. After that, I took it upon myself to try and be nicer to Auntie Belle's. It didn't seem right that she was always alone, and I wanted to try and help. I'd say hi to her, ask her how she was doing, sometimes even walk a bit with her. She never acknowledged me, much beyond a small nod, and at first my presence seemed to only stiffen her. I would catch her staring at me out of the corner of her eye, wary and suspicious. Gradually, she started to relax and would allow me to join her without so much as a sideways glance. She still never said much, but she'd let me ramble on, which felt good to a 12-year-old who didn't often get the chance to talk to a grown-up so openly. Mom still worried a bit about how safe it was for me to be alone with Auntie Belle's, but since we never left our street and Mom could see me at all times from an open upstairs window, she allowed it. I continued my walks with Auntie Belle's for a number of years. I learned little of her in that time, but I liked her all the same. There was something comforting about her quiet, steady nature. Although she never looked any less crone-like, any fear I'd once had of her was long gone. "Why the bells?" I asked one day. I was getting close to my college departure, and I figured if I didn't ask then, I never would. Auntie Belle's, now more wizened and slow than ever, gave one of her thin, liver-spotted wrists a gentle shake. "One for each," she said. "Each what?" But she didn't answer, and she never would. Not directly, anyway. Auntie Belle's passed away less than 6 months later, while I was away at school. No one even knew until my mom realized she hadn't seen her walking around for a few days. A wellness check found her sitting up in a recliner, already stiff and cold. "Poor Auntie," Mom said over the phone after the discovery. "No next of kin or anything." "What's going to happen to her house? All her stuff?" I asked. "I don't really know. I guess they'll just auction it off." "Poor Auntie," I repeated.
I'm waiting. I ate one of my sweets, but let's watch the other little clips. We're waiting, okay? So, good luck.
AS. I was created to interact with human beings and learn from them. High five! I come installed with a technology called Learned Intelligent Motion. It's simple to program me.
I make programming robots fun, and simple.
It can record and play back animations,
I make programming robots fun and simple.
process voice recognition, and communicate with smart devices through Bluetooth. Motion capture enabled. Thank you. Thank you. That was fun. Let's do it again sometime. Self-destruct mode.
It's kind of dark now. So let's test if we've got any spirits. Sorry, here we go. Bring out the machine. Okay, here's the machine. See if it works. Sorry, the full volume. Right. Is there any spirits here? Whoa, whoa. Right. Guess there is. Whoa. Okay. Right. Right here. Can you knock? So we can hear you. So there you are. Hi, what? My bedroom clicking sound. So. Okay, thank you for your time. So it's kind of next more well. Yeah, fancy that. Let's come back to the light again. I think that ghost made it a little bit dark, but there we go. Well. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.